Christmas is the time of the year when almost everybody is a happier version of themselves. Well, that unfortunately is not the case for Miharu Hino, a young man in his late 20s. After failing the university entrance test, he ended up working part-time at a convenience for 3 consecutive years. He struggles with money and continuously feels like a failure, especially after discovering that one of his younger co-workers is about to graduate university and has also found a beautiful girlfriend, spending Christmas with her and leaving Mahiru to do the rest of the night shift on his own. After clocking out, the depressed teen dropout, in a moment of anger, decides to take home a cake that was thrown in the trash because it was about to expire, which is against the convenience policy and is also considered a crime. While going back home, he notices a stand that sells boiled interiors and decides to eat something while having a drink or 2. Or 10. He gets served by a very particular individual dressed up as a sort of a dark Santa Claus that honestly will make an amazing Bloodborne character. After chatting for a while, the Black Santa points out the fact that Miharu stole the expired cake. The Black Santa then explains that on Christmas Day, not every kid gets a gift from Santa. The good ones do. The bad ones get coal, the very bad ones get whipped, and the very, very bad ones, well, apparently they get fucking swallowed by a huge sack with a mouth full of blade-sharp teeth and an extremely slimy tongue. Miharu wakes up in an unfamiliar place, welcomed by the Black Santa from the previous night. He explains that the reason for Miharu's kidnapping is, well, weirdly enough, to offer him a job, $2,500 a month, rent-free stay, and 3 meals a day. After an initial sort of excitement, Miharu sprints away, scared by the sack's reappearance that he hoped was just a part of his drunken hallucinations, only to later stumble into a pair of workers, a man called Teppei and a girl called Shino. Trying to convince them to let him have some fresh air outside in order to sneakily try to run away, finds out that he was actually taken to the North Pole, and after thinking for a while, well, he convinces himself that the best way of getting out of this very bizarre situation is, well, is to embrace it. Miharu accepts the job offer and instantaneously takes a selfie with his new co-workers and posts it online. At this point, he still has so many questions that trouble his mind, but probably the most shocking discovery is the fact that what he briefly mistaken for the real Santa was just a 1-to-1 scale Colonel Sanders statue, and that the real Santa is dead. This leads him to understand that the base center doesn't operate the same way anymore. In fact, it now only specializes in getting the kids on the blacklist punished in the most efficient way, and that his job is gonna be none less than to find the best punishment for these kids. How, you may be wondering? Well, via sort of a VR device that puts the one wearing it in place of a selected kid and lets him live through an undefined amount of Christmas mornings trying to find the best, worst present. The device links the personality of the one wearing it to the selected kid and then analyzes the dissatisfaction levels. Now remember these guys? Shino is a girl that we find out has to work for the Black Santa for 10 years because of what she did to get on the blacklist, which is not yet revealed. Her job is to observe kids, violating any type of privacy in order to spot the ones that deserve to get punished, and well, let's say that she particularly enjoys this job. While Teppei is the head cook of the base center. Another very interesting character that we meet later on in the first volume is this. He serves the purpose of a sort of a leader to the smaller versions, which are, and hear me out on this, the ones in charge of pooping out the gifts for the kids. Quoting the man inside the Kidly Terrifying costume, well, he says that what he wears, it's not really a costume. It's actually the skin that he removed from the fodder of the small creatures, so that they'll still feel his smell and obey the man, thinking that it's the real fodder. That got disturbing way too fucking quickly. Now this manga is definitely worth of an originality award because of how unique and bizarre it is. To be honest with you, I think that the author, Hikaru Nakamura, definitely had a drink or two before coming up with such a wacky and absurd story. A story that is miles away from being perfect, but thanks to the great characters with surprisingly interesting backstories and a very good quality art style, is very worth of your time. Considering that so far it's just 6 volumes long, and especially if you're searching for something with a sort of a Christmassy vibe to read during your holidays.